All right, we're gonna see how this goes. I've been sick since Friday night. Friday night I couldn't sleep. I was having severe chest congestion. Saturday I had a bad fever. Sunday I thought I had it licked, and then this morning I got up to go to work and the fever was back. So hopefully I can go back to work tomorrow because I'm going stir crazy because I felt like crap. I know, Lainey, you want attention. So with that being said, everything's kind of gotten screwed up, and I just haven't got anything done and haven't had anything to video. So I figured we would. Lee, you need to go. I figured I would. So when we had that cold snap a couple weeks ago, 2-3 weeks ago, whenever it was, it got really like ass biting cold outside. Um, this is all, well, anybody remembers these two boxes, all those manuals up there. These are all service bulletins, but that dealer auction I went to 2 years ago now, I guess. 3 years ago, 2 years ago, however long ago it was, the dealer auction I went to, and I bought a bunch of their literature inventory out. And a few weeks ago, I finally sat down and started going through it, and I got all those red pages. So that binder, that stack of binders, and all those red pages are all service bulletins. So there's combine. I got them broken up into categories. So there's all combines. That's Oliver row crops, the full wheel drives. So I got them all categorized like that, and then the next step will be to take them all back apart and categorize them by model. But that's a whole nother. There's a lot of 4270 stuff in there though. That's kind of neat. Which is odd because I don't think they ever sold a 4270, but now I'm curious because they got a lot of service bulletins on them, so maybe they did at one point. I don't know. So I got all those service bulletins out. I got all those manuals sorted out, and I had that manual stand. I bought that at Rand, or it's actually like a brochure stand, but it works good for manuals. I bought that at Rand Tool 2 shows ago. So I figured that was a good use for that. These 3 binders are all full of parts price lists. Literally, there's no pictures, there's no diagrams, there's no nothing. It's literally like number 8 font, maybe smaller than that, just part numbers after part numbers with like a 1 or 2 word description and then a price. So I'm thinking they don't look like much, but I dare say that every white repair part, I think there's a 1977 in there, a 1980, a 1981. I think maybe a 78. It's like late 70s, early 80s. There's like 4 or 5 different parts price lists. And I got one more up there I didn't have a binder for. But this is, right here. This is what they look like. It's literally just part number, suggested price, code, and description. And there's 3 columns per page, and yeah, it's just super duper tiny. And that one's from 1980. So I got more of those down there. So anyhow, in going through that, I still gotta go through. That was all in this tote and this manual, whatever you want to call that. So I still gotta go through this tote. This is all the sales binders and stuff. And in this tote was this guy that I thought would be neat to run through real quick. So this is a sales manual that I'm judging by, well, not judging by. The dates of everything I found in here range from about 1985 to about 1990, so Bob must have carried this with him for roughly that 5-year range, which the WFE, that would be about right. So I've already been through this, so I know what's in here for the most part, but this is not white related, but something to do with the government. Not 100% sure. So not too super important, but then there's Bob Wittes HFS tractor Baroda. And this first stuff that's not really tied into the binder, there's some, this is all comparison sheets for the row crop tractors. You got a white 100, 288 compared to your different brands. There's that page is for the 120 and the 2110, 140 and the 2135 on up the line. I don't think there was any four-wheel drives on here. I think this was just the row crops. Yeah, this was all just row crops. So there was that. This is kind of neat. This is a telephone tree for the cold water plant. So it's got all your department heads or important people in departments, and then their telephone extension, and he's got a couple things handwritten on there. Makes you wonder how many of these people are still around. Oh, White New Idea, Charles City and South Bend plants. Wonder if the Charles City number still goes anywhere. Doubt it. This one here is a sales bulletin for the release of the, which one was this? The two, where's it at? Where's it at? I'm trying to do this, the 232, sorry. So that's the Iseki. This dealer was in orchard vineyard country, and they sold a lot. I mean, probably more Fiats and Isekis than they did any of the row crops. I mean, they still sold a fair enough, but the Fiats and the Isekis were their bread and butter because they were fit for the orchards and vineyards up there. So, and then here's a little one-page sales brochure for the 232 that would go with that. This is for I think early order out of the South Bend plant, if I remember right. Yeah, that's a early order sales bulletin for the South Bend plant. This is something copied. Oh, a product price or a price list for a 262 high clearance 262 mud or whatever. So there's a price list for one of those if you ever wanted to buy one. Compact tractor implement guide. It's got pictures of the tractors. Man, I'm trying not to make this super long since I'm doing it on my phone. I've never done anything like this before, but there we go. So it's got Field Boss 16, Field Boss 21, and on up the line, and then in the back it's got sorry. Implements and stuff like this Caro mounted mower, yada yada yada. Little Iseki, and I'm torn between leaving these things in here, or I've got an entire that whole drawer's got all my sales brochures and stuff. I'm torn between taking all this stuff out and putting it in my files or leaving it together as a sales. I'm torn between what I want to do with it. But so there's the full line for the Iseki utilities. Then that price sheet, 262 mutter, right there. 288 and 2110s. The Field Boss row crops, so that'd be your 135, 155, and 180. That 180 is a tank. Oh, this is all Series 3s, or well, so that would be your 285, 2105 replacement tractors, and then the 35, 55, and 80 would have went up to the Series 3 by this point. This was a little sales blurb touting the turning radius of the Series 3s up against comparative brands. Apparently the whites had them all licked in turning radius. Some of them not by much, some of them by a fair old bit. There's more than one of those. Yeah, right here's another one, another talking about front. Then this is front wheel assist turning radius. Another little, and then that's a little one-page brochure taped to the sales bulletin about it. No, not even one page front and back, just a front page. Another marketing bulletin regarding radial tires on tractors. Some of these marketing bulletins we're just gonna Nebraska test for the Isekis. Some options for the Isekis. I never knew they offered full cab. Nope, that's not for an Iseki. That's the pod cab. I didn't read through all of these. I just thumbed through some of them last night when I thought I was feeling better. Oop, what's that one? Come on. Little Nebraska tests for the 2110. Marketing bulletin for the 4225 and 4270 regarding the Nebraska tests. Then there's a little official little 2-page for the 225 with your picture there. And then same thing, a little 2-page readout for or a 2-page report for the 270. Like I said, I found a lot of 270 stuff going through all this, and I never actually knew there was one sold around here, so I'd be curious to know if they actually did sell one. But this is a lot of, that's all Iseki. I think this whole thing was all Iseki stuff. Nope, that one's. This must all just be talking points for certain tractors if you were going on a sales call by the judge, or judging by it. A sales script, if you, probably a good way to put that, possibly. Another marketing update for the loaders for the Isekis. A couple handwritten notes from he must have had a dealer meeting. February 26, 1990. Apparently some of the stuff was up, some of the sales were up, some of the sales must have been down. And what's this here? Just must have been some more talking points for, I don't see any real to a specific model, but 1990, you'd be into the workhorse series. I found this, and I don't know, it looks like it's obviously taken inside of a semi-trailer, I think, judging by the walls, but I don't know what, it doesn't look, I don't know what this is. It looks like it could be a gear case or like a transmission with outboard planetaries, but it doesn't, although I wouldn't believe it'd be in black and white, and I don't know why it'd be in here unless that's a transmission for a 6000 series. But again, I don't know why it'd be in black and white, and naturally there's nothing written on the picture. So that's one of those mysteries. I'm half tempted to take that back out to Iowa with me and show it to Dean and see if he knows what it is. Just because curiosity. Some more marketing bulletins. Comparing it to the comparing no specific model, but this is talking about the Case Magnum. I think this one's another one talking about the Magnums and the difference in, that's a white planetary gear, that's a Magnum planetary gear. Same thing, talking about white versus deer planetaries. Talking about the Cummins. Another thing talking about the Cummins B series and the whites. Another marketing bulletin for the Iseki Compacts. And a little little sales flyer. It's just one side. No, it's multiple sided, talking about some of the attachments you can get with them, or with the white badge on them. Some of this stuff I've never seen a spreader with a white sticker. I've never seen, you never seen any compact stuff. How's this one? Oh, this is a price list. Like I say, lots of Iseki stuff in here. More Iseki implements. This is for talking about consolidation and discontinuation of certain South Bend products. For the plows, 250 series disc for Denton consolidated, 264 discontinued, different shovel options for the field cultivators on down the line, blah, 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 blah. Talking about the release of the 220 series of field cultivators. Some changes to the 270 series of discs. Some updates to the chisel plow range. Release of the 435 chisel plow. More chisel plow stuff. We get into some more little sales brochures. 420 high clearance chisel plow. Obviously not the disc chisel. Sorry, I'm going through this kind of fast. This was more, video was supposed to be more towards just all the stuff he carried around with him on sales calls versus looking at each thing individually. But there's for the 270 series discs, and then the heavy frame 270 series of discs. Some more chisel plow stuff. More disc stuff. I guess this is going to be like that yellow set of pages we saw earlier, talking points when you're out on a sales call. A bunch of stuff on this whole section's on planners. This one of the few sections that was actually like planners. It's actually still sectioned out right. A bunch of features of the 5100 series in that little brochure there. It's interesting, they're talking about strip till clear back in the early 80s. Or, well, it's strip ridge, and then there's another, don't know if I'll be able to find it again, there was another section, or another bigger brochure in here specifically calling it actual ridge, or actual strip till. So, never heard of any reference to a 5100 no-till special before until this. Talking about rebates on sorry. Rebates on the planners. Changes for 1986. A brochure. The other thing I'd never heard of until I opened this up was a 5100F. I never knew that they made a 5100 forward fold planner. I thought they were all vertical fold. I think in here there's a picture of one. Maybe not. I know there's a picture of one in here somewhere. And then there's the 5100 no-till special. Right here. It almost looks like a Kinsey, or an early Kinsey style of folding frame, but rather than the Kinseys are like drive to unfold. These are all hydraulic. But I've never even seen a picture of one before until I opened this up. Yep, right there, no-till, strip-till, ridge-till. Talking about that all the way back in the 80s. talking about an aftermarket depth control attachment for the row units. Sales bulletin for some optional attachments. Jaeger Industries seed tubes that were apparently an early aftermarket, which White apparently fully adopted. Or sorry, not seed tubes, seed tube plugs for the little drain tube on the row units. Sorry. And a little new idea brochure, which the White new idea planners were basically. The new ideas used a White row unit on a little bit different frame, basically. And then here's some pictures. They must have been out doing a no-till demo with a 5100 and a 2135. And we got some pictures. Go back in the sleeve. And then this one actually has, so they must have done a custom underslung exhaust on an Iseki. And they took pictures of how they did it. Running there under the floorboard and down the side of the tractor. Those look like they were taken in their shop. Another little talking point to the Seed Boss planners when you're on a sales call type of deal. And then this was kind of interesting. It's a electrically controlled planetary gear set that will cut your seating rate in half, so you could get 2 rates out of one gear set for, I guess, like going in and out from under a pivot or whatever. That was kind of neat. I'd never seen something like that before, but it's that guy right there. And then this back gets kind of boring. This is all into the 90s AGCO era. It's basically a bunch of sales programs for tractors, implements, you name it. It's all the different different sales programs they had going on throughout the, I think all these are from 1990. That's 92, 92, 91. There, things are a little out of order here. Oh yeah, this stuff is all AGCO sales bulletins. Nothing too exciting. We're from Borg Warner. What are we talking about with Borg Warner? Nothing specific. Borg Warner Acceptance. Wonder if that was a finance division or something. And then the last thing in here is this little (1982) corporate report. It's just a little 2-page, or well, technically 4-page, just kind of a little talking to dealers about what's going on with the company type deal. So, talking about the introduction for 1982 with the 255 and 265 field bosses. This was kind of neat. I've never seen one of these other than this picture here. It's a 280 offset disc with a toolbar mounted on the back that mounts chisel plow shanks. So apparently it didn't go over that well, because I've never seen reference to it other than here. So they must not have sold that many. I do feel that would have probably been a good, if they'd have mounted parabolic shanks on there, that kind of would have been an early version of a disc ripper. Because that's kind of when disc rippers started to come about, was early to mid 80s, when they started to have enough horsepower to build a tool like that. That was kind of neat. And then Seed Boss planters, introduction of the 2110 9700 Harvest Boss with new heads, and then new parts packaging, which I've actually got one of those filter boxes right there. So there's that. Sorry it wasn't much. I was just trying to think of something to get out that was somewhat interesting and easy to do here at the house. I need to figure out a better way to organize this stuff, because it's getting out of hand. But real quick, while I'm thinking about it too, in with all this, I ended up with a bunch of white, like, lawn and garden stuff, and it ranges anywhere from the 70s, like that kind of white, all the way up to the early 2000s, but it's all white outdoor. Everything from chainsaws to lawn mowers to log splitters to wood chippers to anything in the white lawn and garden line. I've got all that stuff. That I have zero interest in lawn and garden, so if there's anybody that wants any of that, and there might be more to it, once I finish going through everything that's in here, but for now it's just everything in there. If anybody's interested in any of that stuff, or while I was going through my service bulletins, I found some of this. I don't know if there's anybody that collects Kubota stuff. I don't know if that's a thing. But there's this, some Kubota parts price list stuff on Kubota letterhead from the 80s. Implement parts price sheets and stuff. What's this guy? Oh, that's all. That's actual, like, equipment price lists and stuff. So if there's anybody interested in this Kubota stuff, because like I say, I have no interest in it either, let me know. Because I'd rather see it go to somebody that's going to appreciate it, and I don't know where to advertise that. It's like I got a bunch of Sami, because at that time too, they were selling Sami as a same, however you pronounce it. They were selling that as a short specialty tractor line. And I got some Sami stuff. It's like, I hate to just throw it out, but where do you, like, who in the United States needs Sami manuals? So anyhow, that's what I got for you. Sorry it's not much. It got longer than I thought it was going to, but I don't know. I thought the stuff in there was neat. Maybe somebody else will too. So I guess with that being said, that's it for this one. I'll catch you guys on the next one.